Okay, so hi everybody, I'm Paul and here we are with Jamdalla and ssmoku for the post-match interview for their exciting final of the Billy Weekly 204th Deathmatch. And before we go through the game, I wanted just to ask the two competitors a couple of questions. Jamdalla, so this is the first time you won a tournament. Like, how does it feel? Is it any change?
Especially because it's I think the fourth time I get into the finals, so I felt like I should win one finally.
So are you happy?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I noticed that in the previous interviews, I always forgot to ask you what is your favorite card, which is something I think I ask everybody.
My favorite card. Probably in one of the previous interviews, I would have said metalworking, but
because I went through the other ones and I couldn't find it. Maybe I missed it.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, no, I don't think you did ask. But my favorite card now, electricity. I don't know.
Why do you like it? Because it gives 8s, or?
Yeah, and I've had a few games where I guess I just got it at an opportunistic moment to really turn the tide and kind of screw up the other player's board, if I'm thinking of the right card.
By removing their, like, they had a lot of factories.
That doesn't have a factory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 7. Yeah, I've had cases where I was quite a bit behind getting into the late game, including in factories, and then landed electricity and was able to just kind of strip. Or not in factories, but yeah, I was behind factories, so I was able to share it and then strip some important cards off of the other player's board. Yeah.
In
general,
if you asked me
5 minutes ago, I might have had a different answer.
Sorry?
If you asked me 5 minutes ago, I might have had a different favorite card.
So it's like it's not set in stone. It is still changing. And how about you, ssmoku? I think you told me the card I needed in that moment last time.
Yeah, exactly. So remember the answer. So I don't have a favorite card. Well, always the favorite card is the one I want to play. So it changes all the time. But in general, because I like when I'm playing board games, I like the negative interactions, and that means that breaking up the strategy or tactics that the opponent won't like to play. So for those cases, I like the cards that can cover the cards of the opponent. So when you, especially the case when, like sailing, you can return the one and then force, if of course the opponent have the advantage in crowns, and force the opponent to draw and melt the one you have just returned to cover. Of course, you will return the card that will cover some good card on the opponent's card. So those kind of cards are give me the most pleasure to play with, because it increases the. Of course, probably from the other side, it's frustrating when the opponent is covering your cards, especially when you're building your deck for a good setup. But this is innovation. This is about mixing all the possible ways and trying to and get as much fun from it. So yeah, so those kind of cards, but like I said, it depends on the situation. So I don't have any favorites.
Yeah, there was once, I think, that I was playing a game and I thought, like, oh, this game is going really well. There is only one scenario where things could go really bad, and it was like the other person had an 8, and I looked at the situation. It's okay, I'm fine as long as that thing is not skyscrapers. Because if it is skyscrapers, then I'm in a really bad spot, like my clocks will be gone and all sorts of things. And then I started thinking, okay, let's say it's skyscrapers. What do I do about it? And then I started looking and looking and looking. At a certain point, I noticed that the other person was ahead in crowns and I had optics. So I knew what was the next card that was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So I made the plan, and so this was before the other person played. So I had the pleasure. If skyscraper shows up, I have it covered, and then like my opponent had skyscraper, plays skyscraper. And then in like 5 seconds, I made my move with optics covering it, and on top of that, like my card turned up to have a crown and like
perfect situation. Yeah,
perfect
yeah. So
situation.
you have predicted.
Yeah. No, like my card was random. I didn't know it, but like the.
Yeah, but you have predicted the danger that the skyscrapers could do.
Yeah,
you prepared a defense against it.
Yeah, and
Nice.
then psychologically, I think that was a mortal blow to my opponent. After seeing that happening in 5 seconds, like the rest of the game was like he didn't really he couldn't put himself together again. It was sort of
Yeah, so sometimes there are games where, for example, you are using like a chemistry or printing press or something, and you are not returning the lowest card, but sometimes, or you are the opponent is returning the like 3 or 2 or something else. Then it's probably a sign that he or she would like to do some trick in the future with that card.
yeah.
But it's not always, but yeah, most of the cases.
Jamdalla, in general, do you have a favorite strategy for how to go through the game? Like,
I think it's really contextual. I think the games that's not always the best strategy based on what's going on, but I think the games that I find the most exciting personally are the ones where I kind of let the opponent get the early achievements because they have an advantage there, and I neglect my score for a while, and I just try to drive up my top cards to either rush towards a score win eventually if I have a good card like Cole or something that can score rapidly, or to just get into that 8, 9, 10 territory where you can find some weird dogma cards that will end the game quickly. And by the way, you were asking about the favorite cards. If you can include the expansions, I was thinking that I always like it when I pick Necronomicon because
sorry, what?
I don't know if you play do you play the expansions much? Necronomicon.
Not so much. I played the artifacts a bit, but
okay. So Necronomicon comes up in age 3.
Yeah.
Then, right. You draw a card, and then you either get something terrible most of the time, or if you get a blue card, you draw 9. So I think that one, I like it a lot because you can share it and probably screw up your opponent. Or if you're really careful about it and you manage to manipulate the draw deck for the 3s, you can rig it so that you know that a blue card will come up or has a high chance of coming up and use it on yourself. And so in a recent game, I managed to run it where I made the opponent draw something that I think destroyed their whole score pile, and myself drew a blue card and ended up shooting up to 9. And that was very satisfying. And it wasn't just luck. I knew this was coming.
Okay.
But sometimes you just throw it as a bomb too and cross your fingers if you're desperate.
Do you have a preference on which side we should look? I don't remember if there was someone with a big hand.
Either way, I'm going to look at the replay from my side.
Okay. Then maybe
I remember there was one time where I looked at my hand and thought, oh, I'm in big trouble if something happens, but I don't remember the details. But
okay, so if you do that, then I would maybe look through ssmoku's perspective. By the way, so sorry, this was one of the things I wanted to ask. As Smoku, is there a story behind your name? Or
Yeah. There is. Well, I don't know if I will be able to present it that you would understand, because, well, basically smoku is a bit playing of words, because smoke without the u on the other side means dragon in Polish. And but adding this u at the end, it changed a bit the. It's something like you would like to call someone. You could use that additional letter, but it's not only that. It's a kind of different, difficult to explain. But it all came from my past when I was meeting with my friend in the high school, and it was like not sure, well, 20 some years ago, and we were all the time we were watching either the Aliens trilogy or the Terminator movies, because that was our favorite favorite movies. My friend has two brothers, and they were always coming when we went from when we have returned from the place where you can that time we were using the video cassettes because there was not more modern technology than this, and we were returning from the place where we were renting some movies, and all the time we were returning with the same movies, and they got frustrated at some point, but what we have always carrying with after that is we were buying a lot of chocolate and a lot of sweets, and back at those times when we were playing those video cassettes at the beginning, like we have right now in the movies, you have trailers and some advertisements, and mostly the trailers of the upcoming movies, and on those video cassettes was like 20 minutes, like 25 minutes of the trailers, and before the trailers ends, we probably, in most cases, we eat all the chocolate and all the sweets we have bought for this day. And the brothers of my friend were coming to our room and looking for those sweets, and they say, okay, they are already gone, and something they use the phrase smoke that all the dragon they call us dragons, and then they call that dragons have eaten all the sweets from all around the room. And at some point I liked those phrases calling us dragons, and then I modified this a bit, and I was starting to call myself ssmoku, and and my friends have just liked it, and now it's my nickname.
I see.
So that's basically the story. It's nothing impressive.
Thank you for sharing it. And
Does the at the end turn a regular name into kind of a nickname or a cute version of it? Is that what it does?
Yeah, basically that's it. So you turn the name of just the dragon, the dragon word, making it a little bit softer and a bit modified, that it will fit a human, something like that. It's hard to to translate it because it's so language related.
in Italian, we have this thing that if we add certain letters at the end, it makes something small. So for instance,
yeah, we do have also the same. It's the same in Poland, but this is not an example of it. It's
okay.
more like well, it's something totally new. I think.
Okay.
All right, so let's replay the game and have that great game once again.
So okay, so this is Smoku's perspective, and so you started with ores and city states, and Jamdalla, what did you have?
Mysticism and tools.
Okay.
Yeah,
No.
so my startup cards were quite nice because the ors is always nice to play at the beginning, looking for score sometimes. Of course, the mysticism won't allow me to get it, but having the city states gave me the promise that I could have more castles very soon because I would be able to steal it.
So you are happy with a starting hand like this?
Yeah, yeah.
Because like personally, when I get something like this, I'm really sad.
Because you have ors, it means that the opponent doesn't have it, so you are pretty safe.
But like, I don't know. Like, I'm more, like there are things I fear more than ors. So. Okay.
Like clothing, possibly in the beginning. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the clothing opening is the most overpowered opening, especially if you can't counter it.
Yeah.
Well, you can win basically in a few rounds.
Yes, that's true.
I'm playing this tournament game right now where my opponent has had clothing from the start, and we're probably 10 turns in, and I've only managed to find 3 colors of cards, even though all I keep doing is so he's up to
Exactly.
like 5 or 40 points in score, and I don't think I will make it back.
Yeah. Yeah, but with clothing opening, basically the only thing you can do is draw and hope.
Yeah.
And like if at some point you play writing, you can use writing and get a 2 instead of a 1 and hope. But that's not much. Yes. Here you played city states because you wanted him to share mysticism. Was that the idea? ssmoku?
Well, I think I was more preparing for stealing the castles. I'll get ready to it. Of course, sharing the mysticism is not something I would like to do because I don't want to cover the ors. But I had already metalworking, so that means that there was the only one red card yet available. So that the probability was quite low. Yeah, but I can't remember exactly what I was thinking at the time. Probably I won't be remember most of my moves, but I probably remember my mistakes because that is something you always remember.
Okay. So you like drawing from the second stack, jamdalla, I guess. That's why you wrote.
I don't remember if that's what I'm going to do with this one. I remember I played Mysticism at first simply because I thought there are a lot of tower cards early on, and I might as well share if Smoke was going to have anything on the board. I want to share his effects. And then I think, yeah, when he played City States, I realized, oh, he's probably going to outpace me in towers, and I can't do anything about it. I'm not sure why I'm playing writing at this point.
I also think that the tools are quite well, comparing to cards from the first, the ones are more powerful because you can also get achievements from. I think there are more achievements available from ones than from twos, and there are really rare case for writing to. I think to get useful. Some of the cases are like clothing, of course, and those like pottery when you can omit once and draw truths, but they are quite rare. Well, maybe not that rare, but wasn't
No,
that the case
I
here?
agree. Against pottery and clothing are the best use. I also. So here you draw twice. What did you draw, John?
So now I've got road building and pottery, in addition to tools, which was there before.
Yeah, that's pretty decent hand.
Assuming I'm going to try to steal clothing.
Yeah, actually here, if you had road building, you could have stolen it, yeah, right?
If I'm not doing it yet, it's probably that maybe I'm trying to find another red card so that I don't just get road building and clothing stolen back, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, he would give it back.
Not updating your account, so we'll see. What's that?
Yeah, he would give it back to you immediately.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Then you draw again. So at this point, you have road building.
Road building, monotheism, fermenting.
And fermenting is the last you drew. Okay. Fermenting was the last one you drew.
Yeah, the fifth card there.
Okay, and here I presume, did you draw ssmoku or did you use clothing right away?
I think I used clothing because that was I should have. Oh, maybe not. Okay, I've tried both once again.
Well, but maybe it was like you didn't have the other color to play. And
yeah. Now it would have domestication.
And what did you draw, Jamdalla?
I don't know if I was thinking it at the time, but I think a good benefit of drawing mostly with writing here is that I'm leaving ones on the board for clothing instead of depleting that pile even to 2. I just drew masonry.
Yes.
And I've got 4 other towers in hand, so I guess something's coming.
Okay, here ssmoku plays clothing, gets a lot of points.
Yeah, that was good defense because playing for getting achievement and playing 4 cards. There's a difference between against the clothing. Yeah. But you had to take a risk. What would you do if you didn't have 4 cards with castles? Would you wait to get another card with castle, or would you go with playing all of them, the 3 of them?
Good question. I mean, let me go back. I think, oh shoot, I just came out of the whole game. I think if I remember correctly, masonry allowed me to cover 1 more color or 2. So maybe in that context, I would have let you use clothing a little bit, hoping to pick up 1 or 2 more towers. But definitely would have made the decision a lot harder.
Well, you also had broad building, like given that the other person had clothing, I think stealing it would have been a decent option.
I think the road building wasn't used, even once in this game. I'm not sure if I remember that correctly, but it wasn't used at all. So that's kind of surprising because, well, the road building is messing up on boards quite a lot.
Yeah. Also, I think it's nice if you have no green to give away, and the other person is sort of forced to share. Like in this case.
I like road building when you have another red card in your hand and you can just give that red card to the opponent, a red card, and still have the road building on your board, and then you can use it again. Because giving the opponent to play road building most of the time means that you will get the same attack next round.
Yeah, but I mean, in this case with clothing, even just putting things on the board would help, I think. And by the way, I made a mistake. Road building wouldn't be shared, so it's not as cool.
Yeah.
So here, more points. Then monotheism, of course, to get rid of clothing. I mean,
Yeah, it's good. It's
Jamdalla,
good to have machinery.
Jamdalla must have been happy to get pottery out in like played like this, I guess. I mean, do somebody force you to play with domestication to play pottery? I would be happy.
Yeah.
And smoke.
Yeah, so I had to score at this time. I like to score late. Well, late as it's possible. Sometimes too late, of course. Yeah, but I always think because the scoring move is wasted. Yeah, so you cannot do anything more than the score. So it's possible to delay that move until it's well. There are some moments in the game when basically you would like to play only one move. For example, you would like to wait to see what the opponent would like to do. So this is the perfect moment to score. Because you can score and then do the one move you would like to do, and you're perfect with. But of course, sometimes I forget about scoring, and someone could steal my score. Well, it happens.
Here I've just used, let me see.
Yeah, pottery works.
Just for and drew alchemy. Next I use feudalism to score. And I draw feudalism again.
So here you use Code of Laws, like you wanted to, like were you hoping to use ores again? Was that the idea? ssmoku?
Yeah, so it's a preparation for the future to get more castles, because at some point probably Jamdalla would like to will cover some of his castles, and it has to be done in the future at some point. So I wanted to have 2 castles more by playing the right, to still have the hope to use those in the future. In the end, I think I didn't use it successfully.
Was there a reason for choosing metalworking instead of archery? Like, was it in case he goes away with archery in hand?
Yeah, so I would like to steal higher cards if it's possible, to have at least the skill to get high cards from Jamdalla if he somehow gets one. Because I knew at that point that he will be scoring faster than me, and probably would like to go for higher cards to get achievements.
The 1s, 2s, 3s are all gone, so metalworking is useless as a top card.
Yeah, and the metalworking is useless at this point, because already we are drawing 4 cards.
Like I have a knee, like I don't consider archery very useful in general, so I have a knee jerk. But if you're like without considering which age you are, archery goes away.
But you know that often I remember quite a few games when I was keeping archery, because I already knew at the beginning that the opponent will go for, because for example if the opponent have mathematics, then it's for sure we'll get the highest cards. So keeping the archery when you have advantage of counts of castles is well, it's a way to steal those high cards.
And here when go ahead. Sorry.
I think when I see archery on the other player's board, or if I know that they might have it in hand, it makes me have to be really careful about what I keep in my hand. And I think here just even keeping the 1 in your hand for a while, knowing I haven't seen archery, makes me play differently.
Yeah, so but so I could keep, for example, not the archery, but another a card from one card, and then you develop up some kind of, you know, the danger that this could be archery, but you never know. Yeah, so it's a trick, like a poker play, bluffing.
Yeah, like keeping feudalism in hand. A person could think it's machinery.
But you know, at some point that here on BGA they added this option that the opponents will have to reveal their cards in certain moves.
Yes.
So that wasn't implemented before. It was added at some point, yeah. So that changed quite a lot, I think. And I'm not sure about the exact rules of the game, because I played the innovations a couple of times and I've never forced opponent to show me his or her cards. So I'm not sure if that is something that is written in the rules of the game, or that was added as a, you know, as a request here. Not sure about it.
I think part of the problem is that if you have to prove, like in real life, either you trust the other person or the other person has to show you the cards. And then,
but if the person lies about it, or somehow some maybe can't see it, and then you in the future in the next moves you could possibly something could happen that the opponent will play this card and you will see, okay, you forgot it or you lied about it. So it's always something, if you remember about it,
then you are not only playing innovation, but you're also playing Cluedo or Clue.
But I don't know that game. I guess it's something about cheating.
No, it's the detective game. Like
okay,
you have information, like this weapon was not used, and this room is clear, and then you.
Yeah. So I get it, but so I still because I understand that in the real game you have to show your hand to prove that you don't have castle or something like that. But here the AI, the implementation of the computer games won't allow you to do that anyway. So I was wondering why it was added. Maybe as just a feature request from the players. I need to check the rules of the game, but I think I read them a couple of times. I haven't seen that mentioned that you have to show the cards to the opponents in some cases. I'll go back to it.
Then I would have to show you my hand to say I'm out of crowns now.
Yes.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
One last question about this. Did it play any role, the fact that you had paper in hand for this playing? Like, were you thinking, oh, maybe this will become even more useful if I can play paper at some point?
Yeah, still, but I think I haven't played paper at all.
No, but I was just wondering if like that was a.
Yeah. It's also having more colors splayed left for the case of paper is always bad. And
here the idea was to like tie the number of leaves, or
yeah, so share fermenting and preparing to have the danger of having machinery on the board. So jamdalla would think twice if he will get many cards in his hand because there will be always a possibility to steal them. So it's like a psychological war right now with ores available on the board, machinery available. So all the possible ways to mess around. So I like building my deck. That's why most cases I don't like those random moves, the random melts like sailing or the 5 card and optics do the same, because they can cover the cards you were so long trying to set up on the board. But yeah, so in most cases I do not rely on luck here. And this game is example of the tactics and strategy most of the time. I think there was only one or two, at least 2 moves one from my side and one from jamdalla side, that was pure luck. Unfortunately, almost the last move from jamdalla was also pure luck, and it gave him the victory. But except for that, all the game was basically based on tactics and strategy. That's why I like it so much.
So here you shared pottery to achieve, I presume.
I'm assuming I'm just going up to the 2, and yeah, that's where smoking up the machinery comes in useful. He can keep up in score, right?
And ssmoku, had you considered returning 2 cards?
But what would that give me? Because I would have to after pottery draw again the 1, so I'll draw the 1 I
No, because like this forces jamdalla to get rid of more of his hand. Because if he discards only 1, he will get only 1 point.
But I didn't have 2 1s, yeah.
No. Like you can return archery and whatever it was, like optics. Yeah. Then this forces Jamie to return 2 of his.
But if I return archery and something, then I will score archery.
No.
And draw 1, yeah.
No, you have returned the 2 cards.
Yeah.
So you score a 2, but there is no 2, so you score the 3.
Okay, I don't think I understand. So could you explain again?
So if you return 2 cards,
yeah,
you score a 2.
If I don't return the 1.
No. In general, if you return both archery and another card.
Yeah, that's so because the pottery, yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So then you would score the 3.
Yeah.
And then
draw archery back.
No, because the draw is afterwards. Like jamdalla has
but before jamdalla turn.
No.
Not.
We finish the dogma. So the dogma, the first part is like the dogma is split into 2.
Okay.
Like, so let me just put it.
Yeah, so I know that. I think I missed that one previously because I was trying to do something like that in the game against you, but I did it wrong.
Yeah, so maybe this also can be just for people at home. Like the card has 2 actions. So here ssmoku does the first one, then Jamie will do the first one, and then the second one starts. And so as a consequence, I'm not saying it will change the destiny of the universe, but I'm just saying this is a possibility. Like when in this case, ssmoku had a choice between returning 2 and leaving a 1 there, so that Jamie had to return 2 cards instead of 1, and then he would, then you will end up getting archery back if he decides to score 3. Can people understand?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
I haven't thought of that, but that would have been a good play. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying it's a possibility. I didn't want to say this is a. Also, one can say like, oh, I like my cards, and it's better to keep it like this. But there's nothing wrong with that. Just to point
in those cases, this.
Yes,
it's just delays that delays. If jamdalla decides still to return 1, but yeah, in this case I have the calendar on the board, so I could score and measure even. So I could score. I could achieve second achievement. Yeah. Sorry, guys, can you give me 1 second? I need to talk with my sister for 30 seconds.
Więc później powiemy, co żebyś zrobił, jak będziesz wyjeżdżał, nie?
Aha, dobra.
To-
Czyli jedziecie.
No.
To tak, to jest klucz od... Możesz go sobie zabrać, się przywiezie tym razem. Nie, bo tylko jeden potrzebny, nie?
No do drzwi.
No, ja mam w kieszeni te klucze.
Sorry, I just muted. So that, like Jamie, do you remember in some other game like there was some moments in which I was sharing pottery, and Jamie, can you?
A game where you had pottery, but I don't remember the sharing or what happened.
No, it was just somehow. Usually there are some tricks that can be done by returning more cards and messing with the other person, and like sometimes people don't think about it.
You're still talking about the pottery and the possibility.
Yeah. It was just feeling void. No. Okay. So after this very short discussion on pottery, then you get which score?
Here I've just returned medicine because I'm really conscious of ores on the other board, so I'm trying to get rid of crowns in hand, and then I draw invention, but also enterprise with crowns again.
And then you achieve, of course. So you force. Was it intentional to get rid of castles? Did we lose?
And some of it just scored alchemy. I don't know why that instead of feudalism. I think I'm probably keeping feudalism to get one more leaf, maybe.
No, I was just wondering, like, why ssmoku decided to do this.
Oh, did it disconnect?
I don't know. Yeah, it's only two of us. I don't know. Shall we keep going, or what do you think?
Maybe we can wait a little bit because I think I'm also wondering about your question of why he's getting rid of towers, because at first I just assumed he was doing kind of the same thing I did, just letting me share so he could achieve quickly, but that would mean he'd have to be able to score the 4, which doesn't have a tower.
Yes.
Not it.
Maybe he thought he could steal the cards. Maybe he miscounted the icons. It's just one possibility.
And he's already splayed before that, so that's not it.
Yeah, right. Yes, playing the reds couldn't be. Also, for you, this was pretty nice because you got extra points for.
And it brings me up to 15, which means I'm assuming I'm going to achieve 3 next time with Meld and Achieve, which would have taken me at least one more round.
Yeah.
Is there an easy way in the replay to browse to a specific part of the game?
No, it's terrible.
You can't just like scroll the history and click on something.
No, so the problem is that it has to replay every single move. Like at some point I wanted to, like with Sea Drake, we were trying to go through a game and like highlight 3 or 4 different positions that were interesting, and basically I had to have 4 different window, each at the right point, and it was like, this is not exactly ideal somehow. Yeah, like I guess being worried about ores in this position like this is pretty normal, I guess. Like,
I'm pretty sure it was ores where there's one point later on where I eventually kind of forget about it. Maybe I went on frenzy or something, and then I looked at my hand. I'm hoping we come up to it. Eventually, I looked at my hand and I saw I have 3 or 4 cards with crowns, and they were all 4s or 5s, and I'm down in the tower's lead. And I thought, oh no. But then I think ssmoku didn't use ores at that point. He couldn't have known what I had in hand, right? And then I think I was able to just clear it out really quickly. I don't remember what I did. I probably just took the tower's lead back, or maybe used reformation or something to just tuck everything away.
Sorry guys, I got disconnected. I have to
problem.
switch into my mobile. Hopefully it will work with that.
But we
Where are we?
We have a question.
Yeah.
You used machinery here. Was it like a miscount of the lead?
Yeah, that was my first mistake in this game. Not that serious, but I forgot that for scoring with machinery you have to have castle card with castles, and I had only archery, so that's not a great way
you
to
wanted
score.
to score colonialism, but
Yeah, exactly.
I
I was hoping to score any cards from my hand, but the machinery is not that powerful. Yeah, it's reduced only to castles. So that was a mistake, but yeah, it wasn't that serious one, at least. But it's still, I think the jamdalla were able to score something also. Yeah, alchemy. Yeah, and it gave you 15 points. Yeah.
And at that point, you also take this play, since I mean you already shared. Actually, is this a mandatory? You have to. Oh, I see.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, exactly.
I see.
So sometimes there's a good way to read, for example, archery for opponent hands or something like that. Something with castle.
Yeah.
When you are sure that the opponent have some castle cards.
Yes.
But in the end, that mistake didn't. Well, it ended quite nice because I got the experimentation on showing bonus, and then later I used the experimentation to get I think chemistry, and in the end it played well.
Well, I mean, you could have drawn.
Yeah, I could have, of course, but that would be one move away.
Yeah.
So sometimes it makes a difference. You never know. I will mention this again on the second.
No, but sorry, like I'm just saying, like you could have simply drawn instead of using machine. Like you made jamdalla faster because he scored the free.
Yeah, that's true. There's no good side of this mistake. I'm trying to see one, but yeah.
Okay, silver lining. Okay, and then so you play and achieve.
So this stage, jamdalla has three achievements, and I had only one. So the game started to be unbalanced, but yeah, I was able to get. I think I will get match chemistry next move, and I will start scoring again.
Yes.
And also chemistry works well for reducing the pottery strength, because I'm returning once. I have 3/1 cards from my skull play. So at least it forces to return more than one card.
And was this to start getting rid of crowns, or were you hoping to like steal ores, something like that?
So I think this is where I'm going to make a mistake. I think I just started using fermenting because I saw, oh, he's got the 5. He could get into the 6s. I better deplete that 4 pile and try to keep up. And then enterprise, I think I'm simultaneously getting rid of crowns in hand because of ores, and also hoping if he does put something down on the board, maybe I can steal it. And
was there a way to use road building and play 2? Or
do a smelt enterprise and something else.
yeah, just curiosity.
Let me see. So yeah, I wouldn't have shared that because I had 3 crowns underneath, 3 towers underneath enterprise. Yeah, I might have melded enterprise and printing press, which I had drawn at the same time on the previous turn. I don't remember if I was hoping to continue using pottery for a while.
I mean, pottery is something you are always sad to give away.
It depends on how many lower cards are returned, and especially what stage of the game. But here, because I had a chemistry, so it was obvious that I will be returning all lower cards from my score pile, exchanging them with the higher cards. So the power of pottery will be decreased.
All right, yeah, you have, and then return a card from your score pile in chemistry, right?
Yeah, so here you played paper. The idea was like for drawing, or?
Oh, I can't remember why I melt paper at this point. I think I was maybe thinking about sharing invention and scoring, but at this point I don't think it was useful because I still had chemistry to score, and I could yeah, can't remember why I played paper.
Oh yeah, I could have melded that turn.
Yeah. Here was a moment that we were a bit perplexed because you got the 6, but now you were behind on leaves.
Yeah, exactly. And this was the something I missed totally because I was focused on my next move. I can't remember what I was focused on, but I didn't see that I got the advantage in leaves and I could steal the 6. And yeah, that's an obvious mistake. But I was thinking because the mistakes are the part of my strategy somehow because I'm always doing that. So I've learned to use my mistakes to get them into advantages. Sometimes, of course, it's not always possible. But sometimes, when there are obvious moves, like here in this case, it's obvious for anyone that I should have used machinery to steal the 6. So this case is pretty much I can't do anything else. But in some cases, the mistake can confuse the opponent because the opponent is already prepared to do some other tactics because it's obvious what will be my next move. But for example, I'm doing a mistake, and then it's not so obvious what I will be doing next. So the opponent is like a surprise, okay, and it changed the balance sometimes. So the question is, would I be able to win the game faster, or still will the game, or lose the game? Or maybe this case will they win the game at all because I lose that. But the question is, would that help me a lot or not? And it's not always so obvious. In this case, it could be obvious because getting 6 is something important. And on the other hand, it will change the way I would play, because it depends what the 6 is. So the 6 will probably cover, you would like to play the 6 because I would like to play the 6 to draw 6, but it will cover some of my cards, and I'm not sure what the 6 is because it's still in the jamdalla's hand. So so that's some nuances of the mistakes and not obvious moves in some cases that can be turned in some way of playing a bit unpredictable. And then I think on our previous conversation I mentioned Hive, and Hive is an example of the game where I sometimes deliberately I was doing mistakes to force the opponent to think that the opponent has already won the game, but I was attacking at some point and winning the game by surprise. Of course, it's not that easy here in innovation. It can be done if you, for example, have some cards that will still give you the advantage. But at this point, I had only colonialism and nothing more, so not much for it. So that was the real mistake, and I wasn't able to turn that mistake into advantage at all. But yeah, sometimes using that tactics.
But you wanted an 8, a 6 was not enough.
Yeah, 6 is not enough. Give me 8. Yeah, give me 9. But I will. I'll have. I'll like two moves. After that, I still use the machinery to steal some cards, some lower cards this time probably. Yeah. So maybe I was frustrated that I haven't seen that, and I decided at least I will steal some cards. Yeah, but it was fun.
Instead, you use chemistry again, because of course achieving is beneath you, and then achieve the 5. And so here you,
I get away with it.
yes.
I was saying earlier that there's a moment where I become vulnerable to ores and I have a bunch of crowns in hand. But maybe I'm misremembering, and maybe it was actually at this moment when I drew the 6 and lost the leaf lead that I thought, uh-oh. But you know, what you said a couple turns ago would have made so much sense if I had used road building when I melded Enterprise. I could have melded printing press at the same time, and then on my next turn, drew the 6 from printing press with my first move, and then melded it right away.
But you know, I probably would have stolen then your 6, because that would change a bit the game, how the game was played, and maybe one turn earlier. Well, we're not sure. It will be the same.
No. There would be no chance, right?
Yeah, no chance. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Away, regardless of what it is.
Mm. So it was a better move. Yeah.
Sorry, what card was that?
So you exchange colonialism with perspective and feudalism. Move 75.
Oh, with machinery there. Okay, yeah.
A bit too late.
Well, I mean, perspective was still good. Like,
You have a lot of
so I would rewind the time and steal those the 6 card and see if I will be able to win the game by stealing. If that is so, then it seems that those mistakes are coming for a high price.
yeah, I think so. Also, why did you like? What was it? Was it to get to be able to use ores here, or to make sure that machinery would still be a threat?
Both of them possibly, and get another colors played. Because there was this danger. Well, the metric system could not be beaten at this point because I have no advantage in the crowns. Yeah.
So here you draw and play because you don't have many other options.
Yeah, and this is a combination of printing press with democracy. So that's a very high danger of drawing, scoring fast and drawing higher cards. So at this point, I was already aware that I have problems now.
Oh, why stealing colonialism? Just so that he couldn't use democracy? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I'm delaying a bit, scoring a bit.
Yeah, now 8.
So at least the metric system was covered by, so the one achievement have been reduced, the possibility of one achievement is playing all the cards, right? So one danger of the corporations, the high cards starts to play more.
Jamdalla, had you considered using metric system twice, or were you in a rush because you were worried about the scoring?
I think I would have continued using metric system. Well, once I got democracy, I think that trumped just going up with printing press, especially since ssmoku was running up the score. I thought, okay, let me get some high cards and then maybe keep using democracy. I think I must have been thinking, but then I got corporations, and that just had to go on before I got stolen. So metric system was just an unfortunate victim, I think.
But you never know, will I stole it or not?
Yeah,
just let you have this. 8 is not enough. Give me 10.
Yeah.
And now you see I'm behind in Towers lead, and I just drew Gunpowder, which has a crown with the paper effect. I'm about to, because my replay is a bit further ahead, but maybe we're making another mistake there.
Yeah, here, ssmoku, I have a question. Here, had you considered playing the blues to the left?
To get cards faster, but would that help me much at this point? Getting one card more.
Like, I mean, you were giving away one leaf, which you could get back at any moment, basically. For one card. Like, personally, I would have done it, I think.
Then how did he get it back at any moment?
Yeah, because he has chemistry.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. So because I would be able to switch back into right play anytime.
Maybe there is some extra consideration because right now he's back on factories, so then you have to share it and like give some points. So maybe it's not as easy as I'm making it. But like, I don't know, like the extra card. Because also you were like in this position, I thought you were going to use paper quite a lot, and then like it piles up. So, you know. But here you are drawing really a lot, like 3 cards. And yeah. When Jamie starts exploring.
Yeah, so I was looking for a card to steal. Something nice from Jamdalla's board.
So here you drew.
Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up in the replay.
on move 100.
Where do you see the count? Oh, okay, I'm at move 99. Because I see I transferred.
So you use
Democracy, stolen.
It looks like I've just transferred democracy over to ssmoku, but oh, because he used societies, okay.
yes.
And okay, now I'm up to 100. And
So here I stopped you from scoring at the value of 28 before you were able to get new achievement, two points still to score. Yeah, but well, giving you use fermenting to get. Yeah, I guess you have used fermenting. Yeah, to get more cards. So the possibility that you will get another card with the scoring ability was quite huge. Anyway.
I just have a question. Jamdalla, had you considered using corporation to get rid of chemistry and score? And
well, I did, but then I would let him draw an Elden 8.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying we were during the commentary we were sort of discussing: is it worth it? Is it not worth it? And
I definitely thought about it, but I wouldn't do it in this circumstance usually. But now, okay, so this is probably the moment that I was thinking about because I just used fermenting. I am down by 1 tower, and now I've got steam engine and astronomy in hand with crowns. So this could easily lead to something bad.
So you played antibiotics. But well, yeah, also because now he could steal.
Yeah.
He could have stolen your hand with machinery, so you had to.
Possible.
Yeah.
You 8, only 8, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
a couple of 5s.
So what are the other 5? Steam engine?
Steam engine, astronomy, and I've also got coal in hand.
Oh, coal.
I might have used coal. Coal might also be my favorite card.
Yeah, I love it.
And I think it's coal is your favorite card. Coal,
yeah,
isn't it?
No, it does everything.
Yeah, it does. It can be done it can be used for so many different, ways to score, to uncover you covered cards, to mess around. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, also it like tags a new card, so you can use it like if your board is not very full, like mine usually is, you can you can get like pass by of age, and like let's say you need a 7, and you put it somewhere.
Yeah, so when you have two cards of one color, you can use in those cases you can use coal to put the newest card as the front one, because you will score those two above it, yeah, and possibly get achievement also. Yeah, a lot of nice uses for coal.
So here you use democracy because achieving is beneath us.
Of course. It's overrated.
Yes, exactly. Then all
I mean, it makes sense though, right? To do the other move that gives you new information before the achieve, if you know you still have time.
Yeah, that was also the navigation. It's like not sure about that move, but it's of course delayed achieving because I was able to get jamdalla under 40 points, short by 1. But I'm not sure. Maybe I should have played something better at this point. to let him score.
Yeah,
I
like
think
it's,
about messing around.
because I mean call is so fast that
Mm.
like 3 points is not. I mean he will have to get rid of a bunch of things, but yeah.
Probably I was hoping that he should use call and get another 2 cards off his board. Yeah, still, it's not something very important at this stage.
Because another thing you could have done, but again, I'm not sure if it would have been a good idea, is maybe, no, maybe not. Not yet, nothing. Maybe at a later point, we were thinking if we should have used banking to still call. But... So, call the rules as it should.
Mm-hmm.
Then we achieve. Yes, yeah, you did.
Yeah. And still another time when road building was uncovered and ready to play, but yeah, not used.
Here, you made astronomy hoping to get universe. Was that?
Yeah, assuming so, because let's see, I'm at 51. The 8 is. I'm not achieving 8.
Yeah, I
Because if I
mean,
do astronomy after that, then I'm risking. No, wait, it only draws and melds on blue and green. So, okay, so I must have calculated that ssmoku can't get the 8 right away, so I can hold on to the achievement because that's beneath me. I guess I'm hoping.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I guess I'm hoping to get universe. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. So that was interesting point in the game. Because I realized that you'll go for astronomy and then win the game because you could achieve 8. So at this point I was focused to watch your hand. I was because I need to watch if you will be able to get a red 6. Because you can get blues and greens using the astronomy, possibly win within 1 turn. And I think at some you got the red 6 in the next turn. So I was looking away for a way to steal those cards from you if you happen to get the red 6. Can't remember what I've done. So let's resume and see.
it call. Was the idea to get in ahead in crowns?
Yeah, probably only that, and ahead in score in case of.
And also leaves.
And also leaves, yeah, exactly to get machinery back in the play. Yeah, I think playing machinery was the only way at this point to steal the red 6 or red 7.
So you were worried about like the win by scoring? This.
What's that?
No, like ssmoku, you passed Jamdalla's score. Because like since you played Reformation, you could have played Reformation on the first round.
Yeah, I can't remember. Probably I would like to get higher scores, so in case of winning by score. But at this point, I don't think it was possible because we're still playing with 8s only. Of course, you can play 10 quite quickly, but it wasn't yet available on the board, and the threat of astronomy was greater than threat of losing by score.
Yes.
So that wasn't optimized move.
Here we got combustion.
Oh yeah, here it is. The red 7 in the combustion. I'm not sure what jamdalla played this turn, but I think you haven't played combustion yet.
I think I
Or
should
was it? Oh, did you?
to avoid it being stolen.
Ah, okay, you played.
And then yeah, the problem with this was there were too many crowns under reformation. So we noticed that like banking was going to steal combustion.
When you say there's too many crowns under Reformation, what
No,
do you
like
mean?
because he could play and pass you.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, sure. So that was the only chance to steal combustion and delay the astronomy win.
Yes.
And also combustion could give me the possibility to still score.
Yes,
if
yes.
it's possible.
But like, Jamie, did you notice that like he could steal it, or?
I don't think so. I think I melted it because I was afraid he'd steal it by machinery.
Yeah, I think there was nothing like it was
either that, or I thought at least I can make him waste his time stealing it that way. If I did notice it, maybe, but I don't want to give myself that credit.
Okay, when 8 is achieved, and then
That's that's a very lucky drawing there.
Yeah, so once again you have explosives in your head. So I had to use machinery, I guess, to steal explosives.
Everything to do that.
But so far I was still able to defend, but the inevitable was coming somehow. But there was at some point when I think very close, like here, I thought, no, not here, in next round possibly, that I think I was able to win within one turn, because I will get the what was the achievement, when you have all three icons.
Empire.
The Empire, yeah, Empire, because I have all the cards in my hand, but yeah, but then you draw the genetics, I guess. Let's see how it happened.
Here we were thinking like maybe Jamdalla could use bicycle. Like we were wondering, will he have enough icons to get Empire from his core pile?
No, yeah.
We were wondering.
Let me see what's on his score pile at this point.
Yeah, not sure. Can you see? Because in the replay, I'm not sure.
Actually, no, I can't. But I think, if I remember correctly, I could see what 8s I scored, but I don't think I had much in the way of clocks in there.
Because later in the game, you said that maybe rocketry or quantum theory.
I scored corporations, antibiotics.
Yeah, you said
No, that's on
about the rocketry.
Well, I did try and score rocketry, yeah. Socialism, rocketry, and corporations.
Ah, that would have worked, maybe. Like, could have used
I think
bicycle, road building to meld rocketry and corporations.
Rocketry and corporations. I think then I would not wait. I need to look at browse cards is not working. Since my greens are not splayed, I think I might lose the 3 crowns. What's on corporations?
Corporation is green, no?
Is green okay? It does have a crown on it. But I have 3.
Yeah, so you probably lack one crown.
Road building.
Like you would end up with one less light bulb.
I have plenty of those.
Three clocks, and
I'd have 3 crowns, 3 factories, 4 towers, 3 leaves. Yeah, I could have done that.
So bicycle is possibly the getting the last achievement is possibly the only way of using bicycle and winning the game, because in most cases you don't want to lose your score pile before all available achievements are made.
Mm-hmm.
but actually we were
is the other circumstance. You want to write about this.
So the game could end at this point already.
Yeah.
also, like, I just wanted to say, like, I think here one can make a bluff move, like you use bicycle, and then ssmoku has to worry about, do I do it or don't I do it?
Yeah.
And then if he switches everything, when you just say, okay, that was nice, let's continue.
I would be worried about that, because if I used bicycle right now, like I don't think ssmoku is at a place where he can achieve 9 with that big score right away. But then I would be putting so many things in his hand, and he has everything displayed. So if he takes 3 clocks,
yeah. Because I wonder, would I go with using the bicycle exchange at this point? Maybe I will get scared. No, yeah, interesting.
And what did you draw here?
This a couple moves behind.
So you knew at this point that I will steal one of your 8s, but you have taken the risk to do that, because you could draw 1 8 and melt that 8 without giving me 1 machinery.
Like skyscrapers and
but I guess you wanted.
Sorry, what's that?
Because you use the antibiotics to get 2 8s, yeah, and you could use, of course, road building to melt those 2, but you haven't used road building at all in this game, and I guess you didn't use it here also, and you took a risk by to steal the 1 8 from your hand by machinery. So I'm wondering, what was your thoughts? What were you thinking at this time to get more 8s to just choose the better one?
I'm assuming so, yeah.
And did you also consider
and you didn't want to use the
evolution?
Yeah, to get 9.
Go and meld it. I think, let me see.
Or were you worried about?
There was a risk that I will stall this because
with banking, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then I would win. So I think that
I can't look at the browse all cards right now, but I think in the 9s there's quite a bit of them that have factories, right?
There is specialization. Let me check. So for 9, there is only specialization, composite, and computers. And for 8, there is skyscrapers and mobility, and corporation was out, I think. So yeah, I mean, that was probably a good reason not to draw a 9.
Risky. Mm-hmm. because either way I could use the machinery to steal the 9 if jamdalla wouldn't like to play it, and possibility to steal by banking if he played. So the risk was too much, because there was the risk of losing the game at this point. Yeah.
Mhm.
So getting 8s, 2 8s or 1 8 is more safe at this point.
So here you knew it was going to be stolen, or?
I must have known the risk, because I think you're right about why I avoided 9.
Mm.
So I value transfer to yellow, so he's able to steal it and use it.
Yeah, so I saw that I get on mass media, so I decided to take another card to have the possibility of using mass media in the next round, because at this point the mass media would force jamdalla to lose more score than combustion. Yeah, but yeah. So here, let's take a look. I had only 2 clocks in my hand. Lighting have 1 and mass media have 2, so I still need 1 clock more to get empire. So that, yeah, it wasn't possible.
Mm. So here you draw a 9. Those genetics. Did you play skyscrapers? Because this way there would be 2 targets for banking. Was that?
I doubt it.
Mm.
In terms of having the 8 there, decide the 9 in the hopes that ssmoku would take the 8.
No, I'm just saying, like, if, well, you choose when banking is used, you choose which one to give.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
then
right.
you
Actually, yeah. Okay.
you don't lose instantly. Like you would, I mean, you
Could be, could be. I might have played skyscrapers also because I just wanted to play one, so I wouldn't lose both by machinery. Maybe I preferred to give ssmoku mass media. I'm not sure why.
You could
Maybe you would like to also
played both with road building.
It looks like I just completely forgot about road building at this point.
yeah, well, so yeah, exactly. But it's interesting. You have the road building most of the time on the board and never use it, because I guess you never use it in this game. And so it's always a threat, but not used threat.
You just wanting to put something over it and getting it stolen.
I mean, it's a bit like machinery, you know, like, let's use it later.
yeah. So we both have missed chance here.
Yeah.
Mass media, and you return the 8s, I presume.
Yeah, so at this point, I knew that the inevitable is coming very soon, but yeah, so I knew that if the card meld by genetics will be purple, then I still will have one round more. But the melding of genetics, I think it was the second time in the game when I mentioned previously that we have 2 lucky draws in this game only. The first one was mine, drawing chemistry by using the experimentation, and then the second is that move, because if you could just meld any other card most of the time, most of the other other 9s than genetics, I would probably win this game, but the genetics at this point was unbeatable by me. Only I could rely on luck and then just delaying the winning.
Yeah. But this was also, in some sense, at least it had the silver lining that the 1 was added to to the score pile, so that combustion would be less effective. But yeah, this was
Yeah.
and then get 10 points.
So here I have the chance to get quantum theory,
Yes.
And possibly win. So that was my only chance in this whole game to win it. But yeah, the probability was kind of low.
Yeah.
Especially when you said about the rocketry, that's only one card. Yeah.
From the side though, I think I knew the 3 bottom cards in that 8 deck were not the card you're looking for. Your chances were not that bad.
So here you remove the 6.
Yeah, but it didn't change anything because no matter what card you play right now, it will get you enough score.
I thought maybe also you could have also used AI. I think that would have been enough.
That's 410.
Yeah, because you were at,
I don't remember what score.
you were at 38, I think, because you were at 50 and then ssmoku removed 12, so 48.
But I think both works. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Software and AI at this point were
Yeah.
pretty much obvious for winning the game. Yeah, I like that game very much. One of my favorite, I guess.
It was an exciting one.
Yes. Well, thank you for going through the whole thing with me.
Yeah, thank you for giving us the opportunity to, relive this experience once again. I did it for the third time because the second time was when I was watching your commentary. You this long video, 2 hours of the video. You know how different time flies when you're playing the game, or then when you're commenting the game. It's the delays are much more. Well, you are when you are commenting, you just waiting for the moves, but in the head of the player that is actually playing the game, at least in my head, I'm considering all the possibilities, and it's for me like a couple of seconds only, when in fact it's a couple of minutes.
Yeah, the commentators must have a lot of dead air to fill.
I know. I mean, there were 4 of us, so like it wasn't difficult. Like it was also the position was like like we could do this, we could do that, maybe this, maybe that.
It's interesting.
If you were able to see both players' hands, if that was a view that was available to the commentators.
Yeah, like there is I think Drake would prefer to have it that way, so that for the audience is nicer. But I don't know, personally I also like it like this, because then the commentators can start guessing, and it's more like being like the players. And I think also for people to understand the decision making, like somehow it's a constant guess of like, oh, this person maybe has this, and I don't know. And also like there is one obvious problem is that of cheating, like
exactly you have to have it on a delay or something.
Yeah. So there was one game. I think it was final, maybe semi-final, when I was commenting and playing the game at the same time, my game, and well, it's a bit more difficult because you have to focus on the game because you are playing, and at the same time you are commenting the game. But like you mentioned, and it a bit a bit reduces the number of the comments that should be made, because like, you know, like the mistake with machinery, it would have been spotted right away.
Yes.
And probably I would use the machinery without telling anyone that I haven't seen that. So yeah, I think that the way of playing is better without the
Yeah, we banned you
actual
from you are banned from commenting on your own game. After
Yeah.
that instance, okay, here we need some rules.
Yeah, it works well because the game is more fair play, because right here I'm playing with my mistakes, and I could just try to use them and turn them into some kind of advantage as possible. But yeah, but any way of cheating, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like, you know, it's always like including something that it's not coming from inside your mind, but from the outside, and you cannot rely on those helpers, outside helpers, all the time. So on the long run, it won't help you much. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. No, but like we were more like worried about like somebody's in the final, and even maybe by accident somehow you get the information on what's the other player's hand, and then
Yeah.
like like the last thing I wanted when I started doing this was ruining somebody's final. Like I was trying to make it a nicer experience if possible. That's my goal, and like the idea that somebody gets to their final and like they lose because the game is false in some way, like I would feel very bad about it. So I prefer
innovation.
Sorry?
Creating a scandal in the world of innovation.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it works very, very well, because I'm not sure about you, but when there's like a double fun of playing the game. The first fun is when you're actually playing the game, and then if you watch your game being commented by other players, that's also fun.
Yes. Well, also one of the funniest to commentate was your games against was it C. Simpson? I don't remember. That at a certain point you wouldn't achieve for the life of you. Like you waited something like five entire rounds to achieve either age 3.
Yeah, I remember that.
5, and then C. Simpson got one of that. And like,
yeah, one of them. But I was still able to win that game, and I think
you were so ahead
because of that. Yeah. Yeah. Scoring is so obvious move. So if you it can be done so many times, and I would like to build my advantage as much as I can before I score. Then I just can score 2 achievements at 1 round.
Yeah, Attic and I kept saying, yeah, why achieve when you can play 3D chess? Let's play 3D chess.
Yeah. And it's also something not obvious, because in most cases people like to achieve as soon as possible and waste that one move. So the opponent will be aware that, okay, now that my opponent will have only one move, so I can use it somehow as my advantage. But if you aren't achieving as fast as possible, then your opponent will know that, and will have to be prepared that you will still have 2 actions at your round. So that's that's also something to consider.
Okay, I have a game in a couple of hours and I need to have dinner, so I think
But
thank you very
good
much.
luck. See you soon, possibly on another final commenting or anything.
Bye, take care.
Yeah, bye.
Grand Championship.